SL, or you can watch me live now Radio Democracy Facebook page, or you can send a message to number on 077 981 981 for be part of the program. Well, today with me in the studio, I get Tamba Monde, we are the programs manager na the National Commission for Persons with Disability, where they for can talk about one exercise where the commission they do as way for make as according to the Disability Act of 2011, then they use section 26 who say for lock public and private building them where not get access for disabled people. Well, waiting at the reason for this make then take this step. I get Tamba Monde at the studio where they can talk about this exercise where the Disabled Commission don't start. Good afternoon, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Princess.
Well, the program is still a listen to now we on challenge where they come to you live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. You can send your message to the number on 077 981 981 for be part of the program. Well, before I can to my guest, make I take this issue where we can talk around today, make I do this intact, we will give a little with we can discuss. The program manager for persons with disability, Tamba Prince Monde say, then go use section 26 of the Disability Act of 2011 for lock public and private building them we not get access for disabled people. It talk this for sake of one exercise where the commission and them partner them don't start. It talk more to we reporter Musa S. Kamara inside this interview.
Today, Tuesday, October 12, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, they start an exercise, an audit exercise, an accessibility audit exercise on key government institutions in Sierra Leone.
But when you talk about accessibility, what do you mean?
You will get 2 foot, they enter society, that wheelchair user, instead for you will enter there. You will get clutch, the move with the 2 clutches for able access on side. The person way in get 2 foot they enter, you still forget access there. So now that accessibility point of view they talk. Now for in other words, the barrier the way can make person where they work out with 2 foot go outside and wouldn't they use which are not able to go there.
When you talk about accessibility for somebody with disability, what are the facilities them we need for day in a place like you building or odd public building way above 2-3 stories them forget for CC person with disability will access them?
When we say access, it necessarily no mean ramps, but we get things the way we they consider as far as somebody talk about accessibility. For instance, how you go to claim na a 12-story building. It not necessarily mean you go to put a ramp, but rather how the elevator way the light opportunities. For instance, if you put a building where go for be 10 story, you will also consider how other people, members of the population, will able access that top floor day. So as you just asked, 1 now how ramps to the slow buildings, 2 now how elevators then they work another, 3 now how we able customize buildings. If you know say a particular building not gets access, but that's so then build and the engineer in your wisdom that say do we go to can customize. You can customize that building for a source to become accessible. So when we talk about access to public infrastructure and buildings, we definitely they go ahead for talk about how whether a low building, how a person with wheelchair will get access to, and 2 whether up and a big building, how the person will able use facilities like elevators or can call lift or other forms of accustoming that particular building so it will become accessible for person with disability.
When you look at plenty government institutions, suicide and they na rentage, somebody the building or sometimes not for office space, but some circumstance can let's say he rents this office space. How una say like so government rent this place for customize this rentage for get all the facilities for ensure say people with disability access them?
Well, in the first place, now make our start for say is symbolic. The exercise where we start today on Tuesday is symbolic in the sense what we they do now for target the institution the way now the seat of power. For instance, today Tuesday we start with the city council, so we own the old and the new building. We want to give we own recommendations that's to add for happen. Secondly, we get the magistrate and the high court of Sierra Leone what we go do and on Wednesday, and then we go also look at you building, and finally we go end up with State House and Parliament next week. But the challenge here, or the issue where we want for echo out to the public here and that, we are starting with those institutions so that once they open up, the other, whether private or other public institutions, go be.
This call on the call, so is it law, policy, or just common understanding when they work on?
Now, a law, to be precise, it then the Persons with Disability Act, Section 24, it make and compulsory that any IAB, the Sierra Leone environment should be barrier free. Barrier not for day for persons with disability. The other section, the winner section 26, it give you power for give adjustment orders. But we can go to 98.1 and say this place is not accessible with the close and down. Best after what we don't exhaust. So this particular exercise is geared towards informing people. For let we help the institution, let them set the best standard. We're not using adjustment orders per se, but rather undertake the audit and give the recommendations, and we will share the recommendation not only with them but with the general public. And after that, we will embark on massive audits and the issuance of the adjustment orders were provided for in Section 26 of the Persons with Disability Act of 2011.
Talking about access for disability in a public building, how you can describe them?
I would say 90% of our infrastructure in Sierra Leone inaccessible.
So all that we don't move to private institutions, government institutions in this exercise. Waiting next.
Waiting next that will take the law, to let the law take in course. We go look at waiting Section 26 provide for the adjustment orders. We'll close them buildings, even it might if it is EU building. If they fail for comply, the law provides so for give you a notice, and after that notice, we for able to issue the adjustment orders. So the adjustment orders are going to state for why would they close the office. As long as it is public, it is provided for by law. So we're not afraid. But before we go into that, we are helping this process. Musa, let me reiterate: 26 provide and give the commission the power for close any building, issue adjustment orders until that adjustment is done before any building will be open to the public for services.
We had to close the building.
Oh yeah, so they close the building. Even if now you building, I must say this. I make the day on Friday will be at 2 building and Ministry of Works because they said the building code standard.
The program is still a listen to now. We on challenge where they come to you live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Where la inserts the we just listen to. Now we reporter Musa S. Kamara be the interview with the program manager for persons with disability. Now the National Commission for Persons with Disability Tamba Prince Monday be the interview with we reporter Musa S. Kamara. Also they talk about one exercise where the commission don't begin do. Good afternoon once more.
Good afternoon, Princess.
Now we see the commission don't start an exercise usai then say no private or public building them we not get disabled friendly usai disabled they get access. So firstly, before we start this exercise, we think come up with this idea we wanna start for do.
Well, we come up with this idea and I just we normal work we do. This na the mandate we the Parliament of Sierra Leone we don't give to the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. As you rightly go get from the audio you play, it provided for in the the Persons with Disability Act 2011 that after 5 years, to be precise, Section 24(3). It states and clear say, after 5 years, all public buildings, including this 98.1, will be accessible to persons with disabilities. So, but if you look at accessibility in itself, and you look at the environment where we dey, you go come to the conclusion they say as I say, 90% of the building there, including as where the car just to take me time for work. If now which I use maybe forget it. Probably I don't know how I can do them. So because that provision they been done day and that 5 year time frame we stated in the law been day, we all be the raise awareness and even when I get we jingle or be not get out a play all over the country and continue for play. For bring to the attention of stakeholders and proprietors of business houses where public the use or including like Unayun, say there will be a time when the commission will step up and the commission would likely use the adjustment orders we provided in Section 26. So after the time don't lapse, we are coming to a new year And because we come to a new year, the commission definitely go for accentuates the job where it do. More so when we don't spend a lot of money, we don't inform the public, say when I make on our places accessible. The law provides so. So now we don't begin for ensure say them public institutions or private institutions the way the public they use, but they're not accessible. We are closing down some of them. And don't doubt if 98.1 is closed down, because besides the fact that the information is there, and besides the fact say the law provides so far, we also don't they engage people them. We also don't they engage owners of business places and private houses where the public they use, say we need for make adjustments. But adjustments others certain thing than there about them. You say when a public a proprietor of a public a place where publicly use, get the opportunity for challenge with adjustments order. Make I in the first place put on this way. In the sense, when we give you notice for adjust your place, and or we give the adjustment orders for issue the adjustment orders as provided for in 26 for adjust your place, you can come to we and say, I know they adjust them based on this, and then we go courts. So that the court will be able to determine as to whether that office they need for be adjusted or not. So the issue, we just the channel, but most of these cases you see is leading us to court cases, and we're ready simply because until we take some of those practical steps, we will continue for the put hand on the people the way to go. We will continue for the take people and interfere with their dignity. So because we know want that, the commission is bent on this exercise so that it will be an opening way, a call and symbolic way Musa be enter with me, because we only want deal with then key institutions, as I say. Already we don't do city council. It was great. The mayor, I must acknowledge in commitment, and of course the reception they gave to the commission. We will go for do that. I know I'm just talk about the report because the report will come out. We went to the court yesterday, both the magistrate court at Pademba Road and the High Court at Shaka Stevens Street. They gave us the opportunity to look at every area, including the toilets, because that is so provided. And today we just don't go CID. I just come on CID. We'll go to police headquarters. It was wonderful as well. The guys and the corporate. And tomorrow the big one, I say, because you building the house over 6 or 7 ministries. That area is like a civil service house. So because Sierra Leoneans with disabilities they go there, so then because they know say step there and the elevators are not always working, they will prevent them make the no get services. So tomorrow we go there. I will also audit Ministry of Works. We definitely choose the institutions and they because they were and then get something for do with really accessibility in this country, and key among them including the House of Parliament and State House. Next week we'll go there. They invite to now for really cover the program because it's something great. We want for set Sierra Leone on the path of accessibility, meaning this country, as we don't sign the convention, we don't domesticate them. We need now for really implement the law so that persons with disabilities will get a barrier-free environment. If we will not do this, it definitely get for tough for we. So once we complete this, we'll carry the report, and that report is going to be titled, well, I just know I'm just spill the beans before the time. But that report they will be launched by the president come December 3rd, and we will follow up. So we as initially say it's symbolic because once State House allow we, once the House of Parliament allow we go to police, the law court allow we for enter and do accessibility audit. We do that audit, we send the recommendations to them, then go for a bye-bye. I don't say any institution they go for this country, we go for deny them. So definitely we are on this and we are in it for real. Meaning a lot of people go for get problem with we because we not go for get away for manager. You are depriving persons with disabilities of getting education. For instance, the schools are not accessible. Then they deprive them for get health services, especially in the provinces to say the health infrastructure not that much good. Then they deprive them for even get employment. Imagine if you have a lady here with a wheelchair, they work. Now I go for the total every day for counter. It's also the guy who not for even accept any intern or work and with wheelchair because he not get convenience. That's how inaccessible environment they kick people in the corner, especially persons with disabilities. So it's the beginning of a very big issue. We're ready for the behind, and I must say this: the president is behind us. And in speech na UN, he says Sierra Leone is on the path to ward off every barrier where they affect persons with disabilities. So it's not a funny business, it's something serious. People go for taken serious. Once the result, the report is out, we'll start taking people to court if they're not making them places accessible.
So how long this exercise get for take?
This exercise, this I not even call it a pilot phase, it's a symbolic phase. I go down on next week, Wednesday, with State House. We'll end this exercise at State House on Wednesday. Once we end them, it lead me to another thing, because don't forget, very soon we'll get the IDD, International Disability Day. And luckily enough for us, this year, the international team where the world look at for persons with disability now that the future is accessible. So we want to place Sierra Leone on the path and join the international community so Sierra Leone will be accessible in the near future.
Okay, now you say una get for the lock places them way no disabled friendly. So like before una do that, una don't notice the people say na so before una go just go like that and lock the people place.
One of the notices where we begin 90s, we are doing an audit on the very seat of power, State House, Parliament, the police, the law courts. The way and the organ of government where they really do work. So once they accept, we don't go do that audit. And not say anybody for lag behind. That is one. Secondly, Princess, me I don't get patient self with people who can say I know sabi, I don't know. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. If we allow people for always use ignorance as an excuse for escape responsibility or escape the law, you will agree with me, say nobody will be liable for anything. Because I get into it today, I will say, oh, I'm not aware, this is it, I don't have knowledge over it. So the idea for say, hey, people need to be aware, it's our responsibility per se. For come on the radio as we do, as we don't do for saying jingles and inform people. But we don't need to go to your house every day to. If you're not a public, if you get any institution or anything you do, you gotta be mindful of the legal relationship or the legal environment where you operate. You know, we'll get for instance 98.1. You don't know saying our law for say you will make a place accessible. So one of these days I will get up and one disabled will call on and I say one kaya away me the follow I can. As soon as I say one total, I will say no. They will cut case start with 98.1. That's how we're going to do it. So, but before then, we will continue to come out to the public. We're going to share with UNA, the media, and the public the report from State House, Parliament, and the law court, so that people know. I will not only do it this way. Are currently tied up somehow because they look for money for ensure say this report what will you do. Let me able get. I just the prayer I get donor or somebody will be able to fund the copy of this particular document. We want to circulate this report right across. We want to even share with you so that you get on your table as a proprietor or owner of a building where public they use and the guys then the report they you see how State House the recommendations needed. Nobody no money for even come to you. Your management has to sit and arrange and make your place accessible. So we are just starting it, and we definitely. I want to make this clear to the public. It is not our responsibility to go to everybody's house and say make it accessible. As long as the public is using it, or somebody where they for aware, the law is the law. There is no way you could circumvent it.
So this exercise now only free tongue or now all over the country on the door?
This exercise is going down to district level, but something has to start somewhere, and for this we start State House, Parliament, and other important institutions the way we don't work as so.
So at the end of the exercise, we una go down do una study we say una they do. What thing will be the outcome so far?
The outcomes are, in the first place, we get an internationally accepted checklist where we develop in line with international best practice. That checklist then they tell we waiting for check for in this house. So once we don't do this audit, we are going back and compile the reports, share with the public, and then these reports will be launched by the president. We are launching it because we go on their recommendations they send at State House. Their recommendations they send for Parliament. Their recommendations they send for the law court. We want them to be implemented. And trust me, if we can able to implement then recommendations they send at that level and people copy from them, trust me, it will be a very good start in making Sierra Leone a very lively and disabled friendly society. You see?
Okay. The program is still a listen to now we own challenge where they come to a life from the society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. You can get me on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl, or you can watch me live now on Radio Democracy Facebook page, or you send your message to the number on 077 981 981 for take part at the program. Well, we don't discuss about the accessibility of the disabled community to public building and private as way for make themselves go able for do what they want for do concerning one study where then they do outside them going to pull reports where then go make some recommendation them. The program is still a listen to our own challenge where they come to live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. The mama for one 13-year-old girl Pikin do ask the Salone police for investigate one 28-year-old Samuel Joseph Bassi, where alleged say rape this 13-year-old Pikin. This 13-year-old Pikin, the mama talk this to Radio Democracy, where he be they talk about his speaking condition after the alleged rape incident. We report our Nigauja gets more in Gona reports.
As we don't hear different rape case them of underage Pikin them na different parts them na the country. Even though Parliament be agree for amend the Sexual Offence Act, for act some part the law them, we go tap man them, not for rape Pikin them. But still, the rape case them, still they continue. And now the victim them, na disabled Pikin them. As recently, we get news from Grafton, say one 28-year-old man, be do mommy and daddy business with one 13-year-old Pikin, when are deaf and dumb, where people can call Momo.
But I get this young gentleman when as Samuel Joseph Bassi is just a neighbor where reside in a church compound, and he can come around. I get a shop where they within the same compound outside a lodge. He can come around, I can render assistance, and he company colleagues them. If I get food, I can give them. So on the 10th of October, when on Thursday, around 6 in the evening, as I enter the house, as I don't approach the door, now I hear my first daughter in voice, when I the deaf and dumb, when I the talking or the hearing, I hear in voice in the screen. So I get for take them waka, I enter inside the room, I meet the room door back, I switch on the lights, I just meet the baba when I Samuel Joseph Baptist. They rape me picking right inside my own house, inside the room.
As the mama for the 13-year-old Pikin, be they explain how he meets this man. They rape him Pikin inside in room. One man we name Isaiah, na be the witness pan this case. He confirm say, not for the first time this, where he don't they catch this particular man. They go na the Pikin in room for attempt for do mommy and daddy business with him.
When Samuel lost among we, then enter inside the house, go meet the Pikin there. And where I meet her, and not be go down well with me.
I meet her.
I meet in private snap. So I wanna say, hey, you know, the only boy Pikin where they inside so we mature. They were all girl Pikin. Wait till you can do inside. Then say I can't feed the small boy Pikin where then call body. Now I say, hey, you know go feed her now. The wise don't slow all enter. Wait make you can't enter. Now I swear, say, in enter inside again, take the dirty and swear. Wise we sit down na veranda, then I tell the man we get in house say, one, you picking them. Anybody so far where you not send inside your house, make you not get the perhaps where you not send Samuel, let them not encourage her inside. If you see and they let them make known to you. Because I'm not satisfied with I meet and I say like how you meet her, but I'm not going for talk. I just make you go on there.
From the time when the rape incident happened, the mama say he noticed difference by the Pikin in behavior.
Then check the Pikin, then confirm say yes, it tamper with the Pikin. Because me Pikin no ever do man business. At the first attempt standing. Now the baba na invaginate me Pikin. Because I know they slack them. Now me husband with me Pikin no more. They in a house. And always I would there, I make sure say my eyes they on there and the monitor them. Say in that they say this is like now a spiritual attack or what is like a spiritual something where baba can inside the house for rape and because the Pikin facial cancer now. A face was so fierce. Even when it go school on the Thursday because they made it on exam, I make it go school. It not be they keep too well. Even when they go take the driver come, he say today all day we go. He say blessing, they keep too well. Even the teacher say waiting happy with her because will not expose her to the school because na shameful thing. Will not let for expose. Not be even team happy. They butu in the all in belly. Say in belly the heart. They get high fever in body they warm. They complain in belly. Pass again for fen medicine again. Today go feel strong, tomorrow go feel weak, you not get that in normal disposition again where it gets.
This case, according to the mama, then at the Grafton police station, but say it not satisfy how the police they handle this case. We make a call on the Salone police for put attention by the case.
Na serious advantage take on the young pikin wey na a deaf and dumb. E see say the pikin no dey talk, e disabled, e seize advantage by the pikin. So I dey expect the police for do their job as a professional police of Sierra Leone.
Radio Democracy we confirm na the Grafton police station say this case dey, but the police wey be dey in charge of this rape case no be dey turn. Radio Democracy will continue for look inside this rape case. For Radio Democracy, me na Wani Gauja.
The program is still a listen to our own challenge where they come to you live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. You can send your message to the number on 077 981 981, or you can watch me live on Radio Democracy Facebook page or listen to me on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl. Well, I still get with me Tamba Munde, we are the programs manager and the National Commission for Persons with Disability. They talk about one exercise where the commission don't start with them partner them outside and they inspect public and private building them for see how they can accessible to disabled people them. Now when I don't start this exercise, so how many building them so far when I don't identify where una should see according to una own thing they wanna they look for when una sure say no accessible to disabled people. And so how many buildings?
Well, now 9 institutions with so many buildings, because like the police where we go today, we get the headquarters, we get CID branch, the law court, we get the high court building, and then the magistrates court building at Pademba Road. So now the institutions and then get Boku is building them within. But I guess you want to ask as to what will they look for precisely, what would they do with audit. The first thing we will look for, what would they do with audit, now that will they look at the road leading to the structure itself. That's not the first thing we will look at. How the road leading to the structure, how this road there, a wheelchair user go able to go with them, go able wheel through until you get to the door. That's one aspect where we look for. The other aspect of we audit now for look at the doors as to whether the doors then we able to accommodate a wheelchair user. So once we look at the doors and then we get in, before we get in the counter, some people they place counter. If a person with wheelchair user can't now before, nearly will just the passive grab for people done. It's not the best practice. So we also want to look at counter as a way we will make the person interface with you. That's now one thing we will check for. We also check for meeting places because we know every staff where in an institution you go get access or must get need for go to the staff room or the meeting room as the case may be. So normally we also can look at the meeting room and then we look at the toilets. The toilet is important because you know that anywhere your dignity or whatever is based on whether you can attend to nature and get yourself respected. So we can look at the toilet. What you can look for the toilet, does this toilet allow a wheelchair user to come in and turn around? Because if he come in and able to turn around, how you expect that person to get off the wheelchair and then use or ease himself? It can be difficult. So we also look for it. And for best practice now as it is across the globe, now bar and then the toilets for wheelchair users. From the wheelchair, you can able to hold the bar, you do what you want to do and then out. And then apart from the toilet, when we concern the HR office, normally staff then and HR, that the welfare for HR, normally, welfare for staff, the HR then the sick. So normally we can want to know even the HR side because if not barrier in the HR they talk. So even in problem, we will channel. So we normally we get interest in the admin office or the HR office. And then once we don't know this, the road will lead to the structure. After we assess the road leading to the structure, we can also look if the house is story building, the building is not story building. One, if not 2-3 story, we will look at whether elevators it go fit them. If not just 1 story or then 1 flat where you can get, then there is a way people can customize them. For instance, like if you go McKinney, you see the plaza where they build on McKinney, they build in such a manner that wheelchair user will able to use and go upstairs. As long as not to 2-3 more stories, it can able to custom them. So we look for one, whether the place get ramp or the toilets and the rooms are accessible enough for take the person with disability in. 2, we also look for the structure, how guarantee it is. Because not over only go out somebody who say in safety, no they assured. Some people they are good for that. Because a disabled person go sit down under, let no go put her under trouble or danger. So normally we can also look at for how long this building setup don't take, because it matters. We not only fight for the rights of persons with disabilities, but we also prevent disability from occurring. So if they with that particular aspect, they look at the safety, how. Not only person with disability, including princess, will go and know, are you safe? We know they wait until you get a problem, we begin to provide for you. But that audit also, they go further for assess as to whether that particular building even require adjustment. Because you know they go build for go adjust an old building. It's not the best practice. So also now but some countries when they build a house, they build it with the guarantee time. This house will last for 100 years, this can last for 70 years. So normally, because we not get that, we engineer not reach that level yet. Sorry to say this, engineer with no disrespect, but I think say we not take me and you say we not go rent also ask when how long they don't build a house. If I okay, you are in there already. So because of rent risk, then we also look at the duration of the building. And other thing what we look at, we key that we not only the assess this assessment, we not only they assess the physical infrastructure, but also they assess the staff na the institution. For instance, in all of those institutions where we go, we want for almost permanent staff in the day. Almost na woman, almost na man, almost disabled, almost non-disabled, almost na non-disabled. And one thing we're very much akin, or we're very much similar to all the situations currently where we see now that, I will say this, thank God to the mayor and the administration, the engineer, they are fabulous. In fact, a member of them, na part of the committee, the engineering team, city council, na part of the committee. But the thing that will shock you is that now only 2 disabled persons then get among 400 and some people working. So that tells you the no take disability is serious. I am not saying the mayor is not taking it serious, but if you have a large number of people working and you only have 2 disabled people, their interest will get lost within the general public interest or within the general workforce interest. So normally, this audit also to look at with the staff capacity and how many of them are women then, how many of them are man them. So that can also instead the help we forgive we advice that irrespective of the fact say una not even get disabled person. I don't know for you here, but irrespective of the fact say una not get, but what plans are there? For ensure say somebody there if he cancel, because precisely the danger about what you will do and make that point yesterday clear in the court. We will ask outside the magistrate the toilets there. No, don't go there and the public. I say no, that is not it. We know they can't do this audit only for persons with disabilities where they can at the office. Now for that man where they work there, now for that woman where they work there, they will go be disabled. If I lost the job because the office no able to accommodate her. Now I see the woman, it's shock if you give watch me. I said, that's the thing. With the do not for the person where you go for cars, the disabled. But let's imagine you have a very good staff here, very intelligent, he or she is young. By the way, you get accident and cutting foot. Will you have to release her off our duty, get her off our duty because in foot cutting, not for able okay? Una for able accommodate them. So what we are doing is not only for those who visit in there, but for those who are there and have a high tendency or propensity of becoming disabled at any time. So you realize, say, the accessibility audit, not the only audit the physical structure, but also the audit the staffing, because then it can give an indication as to why people don't want to take things serious.
Okay, so with all of them thing in the way say we una dey go do una survey na him una dey look for. So in a situation when una dey on this una auditing the office where una dey go na identify say the thing in no get wetin are the thing una can send to the business institution or the side of una dey do una survey say we need this for day from so time, like when I give them time duration, if you know they we will come back and lock the place.
Yes, princess, at the end of the checklist, what we call checklist, you got 3 tier recommendation part. 1, what are those recommendations that are urgent, needed now 98, you should do this, otherwise you don't continue operation. That in they will get a medium term, and because all of what we are saying, don't forget, that's financial implications. We get a medium term recommendations where we make. You can do this in 1 year, 2 year time. Then we get long term recommendations, including not limited to even asking you to leave the building. I don't know if you understand. So we get then level and they what would you do? But I think what's you want guy if not that once we don't do the audit, we one aspect of the accessibility audit now that we don't do the audit to keep the reports to WISEF on our chest. We are doing it for the public. And once we do one, we share with the public. So the public knows, say, if I'm going to Parliament, I don't have a place to go down to the well of Parliament. If I'm going to Parliament, I'm not going to get for access some of the committee rooms. If I'm going to Parliament, even not as a visitor but as an MP, you know, say you're not going to get office because the offices are not accessible. So they put in place then strategies so that people are aware. It's another way of raising awareness on the condition of the reality of our infrastructure in Sierra Leone. So why should they target them for make adjustments, quick one? We also they recommend for ensure say their recommendations and they able better off them building them. If possible, give recommendation we go make the people vacate them for their security and safety. That is our responsibility. We know they pray for let the number of disabled people swell up. Instead, we're going on mitigation measures. When I left this is not good. Because when a person get a problem, the responsibility comes back to the commission. So we, as a proactive institution, as an institution, we believe in the mandate we will get. We know the play with them. And I tell you, initially, the president is backing our move. Because in speech down in the UN, we must make Sierra Leone accessible. We must remove barriers. And one of the ways we can remove even barriers to job. Now, when the barrier to the place is SFD, some people don't even think of that. But Princess, there is one thing where people don't understand. Our interests this time are key government institutions. But very soon, this is another big bomb I will put. Even churches and mosques will be closed because they're public places.
So
and I'll tell you why most people, this is religious. I'm a Muslim, I know that. You know they're gonna mosques where you don't see. So some disabled person they grip with in ways. Not likely they're gonna mosques because either before you reach there you don't see. So the imam then, the management then at them place and they therefore really understand that besides it being the law, we na humanity will serve. If we able to serve humanity and allow you come play una two worship together. The same goes for the churches. So, but let's start it with state institutions that they make the law. Once they abide by the law, there is no reason for any other institution not to go by that.
And self, even the university or colleges themselves,
no exception. No exception. If we can ask State House to give us the opportunity to audit them, which institution will deny us? None. And the president is backing our move. And that is the only way we can ensure we do the change that is required. If we not use the law, I doubt how we'll go able to do it. For go bail a person. Sometimes even princess, I will advise you, if you're ready for bill with the hope that you get old and you need it when you are old. So you make it accessible. But make I also talk about the twin concept to accessibility. The person office, oh, this is the be all and the end all. No. Whenever you discuss accessibility, especially in the light of disability, we always discuss accessibility with reasonable accommodation. What do we call reasonable accommodation? Now, 98.1 can tell us if it is so difficult that wheelchair use another kind of you can have another studio outside somewhere. Outside, una could accommodate other people. When I get staff where don't use wheelchair for kind inside, you can make her or his own office outside. That's a reasonable accommodation. You don't get some side where now ramp fit the where they for make with cement. But at the moment ramp not the reasonable accommodation, they tell you say cut board can't put an day just that the person will go. So reasonable accommodation is a temporary form of accessibility, while accessibility is a permanent form where it is. So why should you discuss accessibility and also the try for use the law? We also are part of we commitment and part of we mandate now for raise awareness on the alternative to this, and the alternative for accessible place now providing a reasonable accommodation. And reasonable accommodation is more elastic, more than even the physical structure we talk about. It can be, for instance, if a disabled person with visual impairment then here with a journalist, una go get them very smart, knowing business, but you know they see. You now for able to provide a technology or a aid we're going to help them. That's reason you're providing him a reasonable accommodation. So what would they discuss accessibility, whether it's in talking about the infrastructure or access to facility opportunities? We also look at the twin partner of the accessibility, which is reasonable accommodation. By the way, I just carry that. Our target is not to really put in place temporary measures. Our target is to ensure we have accessible environment. And you go doubt why accessibility is our target. It's our target because, one, as I say, now the international team done there for this year, that the society, the globe, the world should be accessible.
So why would not be done they do that all this
We'll
year?
be done the one. By in fact, section 23,
But una no
24,
be
sorry,
visible
section
knowledge now.
yes, section 24 3, subsection 3 say after 5 years where the act can to be in, from 2011 to now is a very long time. More grace period don't pass. Follow even get patient with anybody. Grace period don't pass. We don't add 1 year so that people will understand. But if people don't understand, they will take the law.
But sometimes one go once for say na because waiting make for it take long, una dey try for like repeal this una act maybe something I make.
No, well, it has nothing to do with repealing the act. And even if we forget about repeal the act, that is no go area. We can't negotiate as access. You don't negotiate access. For instance, if I carry a princess, I mean a wheelchair user, and I want is myself. For goodness sake, if it take you 2 hours for direct me or carry me go to the toilet, I might disgraced. So there is no way we go for be exercise patient or now the way. No, but princess on a studio here when I get to jingle the way don't play for months. And but people they listen. So it tells you doing our own part. But even when people do this, now it make me believe say, and as philosophers they say, the only way you change attitude with law. Because the law has an element of it which is false. So if you fail, not for go by waiting the law say, then the force go apply for make you go comply.
So when this exercise get for end by next week Wednesday,
Yeah.
now after 5 years back when they do am or
My
after
God.
this,